truckers hauling loads. This one is a story about a different kind of way of traveling from town to town and running out the day. It's called the Blue Water Highway. Ain't no road like it in the world. Up the inside passage from Seattle to Skagway on the Blue Water Highway. In high school it's a party, a floating junior prom, and all the hippies still lay on the top deck passing around the bomb. The forward lounge a tourist wait to spot the whales blow, and all the little pets are in their cars 4 decks below on the Blue Water Highway. Ain't no road like it in the world. Up the inside passage from Seattle to Skagway on the Blue Water Highway. Taking that blue ferry about as far as it can go. The county Taku, Malaspina, I've been on them all. And good times I've been in the staterooms, back crashed on the decks. But every time with the turbines whine, the sleep I get's the best. It's on the Blue Water Highway, pulling out at midnight for Petersburg. Misty hillsides pass and watch the blue turn into gray. Waiting for the next town, still 13 hours away. 3 straight days of sitting here thinking of you all the way on the Blue Water Highway. I was toting my pack along the dusty no slope haul road when along came a semi with a high canvas covered load. If you're going to Fairbanks, Mac, with me you can ride. And so I climbed into the cab and I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, bud, I've traveled every road in this great land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the tundra bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Barrow, Juneau, North Pole, Metley, Canada, Kotzebue, Anchorage, Juneau, Alaska, Soul, Dutton, Ketchikan, Coy, Cook, Stoner, River, Sleep, New Petersburg, I did a ride, Lack, Nut, Dead Horse, Kenai, Katmai, Kutch, Green, Foot, One, Fruit, Bay, Dutch, Trouble, Watsilla, I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the tundra bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Kodiak, Fognak, Chugiak, Naknek, Old Harbor, Isaac, Cape Thorn Bay, Anchor Point, Heidelberg, Yakutat, Hooper Bay, Nome, Ruby, Chichigar, Franco, Nails, Cross, Point, Squaw, Harbor, Moose Pass, Eagle River, Hog, Gila, Dead Horse, Dot Lake, Ock Lake, Wanna Lake, my beat sick. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Cross the tundra bare, man. Breathe the mountain air, man. I travel out, I have my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Kiska, Attu, Adak, Chignik, Skagway, Lost Bay, Northway, Talkeetna, Craig Cake, Haines, Long Hughes, Plateau, Chickaloon, Chittagina, Glen Allen, Keevalina, Togiak, Anatlee, St. Michael, Manacota, Crooked Creek, Cherokee, see what I mean? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I cross the tundra barefoot, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I travel, I would have my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Homer, Bethel, Gus, Davis, Cove, Dover, Glacier Bay, Bettlefield, Ditch, Junction, Neelyama, Falls Pass, Antioch, Sandpoint, Shagaloo, Goombie, Rampart, King Coat, Coatfoot, Taylor Mountains, Brooks Range, Edgecombe, Thunder Mountain, Nanituba, Willis City, Mount McKenna. What a pity, I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I cross the tundra bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Man, I've been everywhere. $400 in a card game, his teller. Buddy Doug out in Port Alexander. Everybody in Port Alexander is named Doug, Mike, Bob. Mr. Feaster out there in the circle. Don't forget about Douglas. People get a little bit upset if you forget about Douglas. Spent a summer out in Seward. Not a bad summer. Escape the city lights. Figured someplace far away be the place to fix her life. Been a lot of dead-end jobs, one dead relationship, and that night last summer that she could not forget. She'd never seen no lucky stars, the city shine too bright. She said, I'll move up north and I'll never miss these lights. Always been there, his dad stayed after the war. 40 years of fishing boats had soaked into his core. And he said, I want to see the stars at night, but it's always cloudy here. I'm moving down to Mexico where the skies are warm and clear. He heard about his lucky stars, but he'd never seen them shine. Somehow it had happened, he'd grown tired of his life. 2 days before the fall winds came, he was packing up his gear. He saw a solitary figure walking along the pier, and when he saw her shiver, he offered her his coat. He told her he'd be leaving town and selling off his boat, and she said, I have just arrived, but I will not be leaving here. There's no place in the world with skies so clear. I never seen the mountains glow pink in the summertime. I never breathed in air that felt so fine. He took her on a hiking trip up his favorite peak. At night they built a fire and she kissed him on the cheek. She said, I wish that you weren't leaving. And he said that I must go. October wind is in the air and it's bringing lots of snow. But being here with you, you know the place don't seem so bad. I guess sometimes you just forget the things you had. And of course there is that thing you can never see enough. When the night lights up and the sky burns bright above. in red and blue. They laid back on his sleeping bag and watched the whole night through. And she said, why don't you reconsider? There's no need to leave so soon. Winter might not be so cold if I could spend it next to you. You think it's lucky stars, but they ain't coming out tonight. So this time you'll just thank the northern lights. And she was busy breathing in the start of her new life, laying back to watch the northern lights. She found a job and made new friends, worked hard to build a home. And when December came, the whole world froze, but she was not alone. Stayed for another year, remembered all the things he'd known. Never once more did he talk about moving to Mexico. They think they're lucky stars, but they just never been the type. Instead, they just thank the northern lights. They've been together ever since, and she's shown him all the sights, and kissed his cheek and thanked the northern lights. Pack my suitcase, I rack my brain. Bought a ticket on the late night plane. Took a taxi through the pouring rain. I'm coming home to you. Flew from Dallas out to San Jose. Got a lot of friends south of the bay. When they asked me if I'd like to stay, I said I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home, back to Juneau's where I'm going to. Can't love nobody on the telephone. I'm coming home to you. The Japanese turned out to be okay. Hit the PI and I almost stayed. Been down in Portland now for too many days. I'm coming home to you. Got fresh cut salmons on a barbecue. They got people jamming to the all-night blues. Life is good down in Texas too, but I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home, back to Juneau's where I'm going to. Can't love nobody on the telephone. I'm coming home to you. I drove forever out to God knows where. Came 10:30 and you weren't there. Called from a payphone but I didn't care. I'm coming home to you. I'm feeling better since I got your card, and I read it over and over when the road gets hard. Ain't nothing better than your own backyard. I'm coming home to you. I'm coming home, back to Juneau's where I'm going to. Can't love nobody on the telephone. I racked my brain. Bought a ticket on a late night plane. Took a taxi through the pouring rain.
This message is being continually recycled by the Alaskans for Litter Prevention and Recycling.
At SBS, we've got what it takes to get your job done.
Spenard Builder Supply.
Eagle Hardware and Garden. More of everything.
Demango wireless home products, easy to install and all components are interchangeable. Add security, safety, and convenience to your home with Demango wireless home products at Eagle.
People can be very lazy. Bears can be very smart. People can be pretty thoughtless. When smart, hungry bears and lazy, thoughtless people get together, is it really only the bear that loses? Remember, garbage kills bears.
This message is brought to you by the Department of Fish and Game, the City and Borough of Juneau, and
Here in Alaska, winter is slow to relax its grip. It's early April now. The frigid high country is still and seemingly lifeless. Big males usually appear first. There still isn't much to eat. Winter has the larder locked up. This 20-year-old must rely on the thick layer of fat laid on last summer. Even at rest, he's been burning it up at about a pound a day. With a quarter of his body weight now gone, the bear's reserves are perilously low. Next to appear are females. Some will be on their own. Others will have cubs that share their mother's den. Cubs are born during hibernation, weighing as little as a pound. In their first winter, the mother needs enough summer fat to stay in the den as late as June. She'll nurse her newborns until they're big enough to tag along with her. These are 1-year-olds. They spend a lot of their time playing. They'll depend on the mother completely for another year or two. It's a dangerous time for them, and only about half will survive. In this snowy world, they must learn what to eat and where to find food as the seasons change. Above all, they must master the brown bear's extraordinary binge and bust way of life, laying on enough fat in 6 months of gluttony to survive the next 6 months of famine. This high country is a good place for a mother with cubs to conceal her den. The valleys are remote, the snow deep. But they can't linger too long in the shelter of high country. All thoughts soon turn ravenously to food. The mother leads her cubs out, picking her way across a dangerous route. Rockfalls and avalanches may bury the unwary. She knows where to find food at lower elevations, and that knowledge will guide their travels through the summer to come. A few creatures have made it through the winter in the open. A ptarmigan picks at willow buds, or by early spring at the dried remains of last year's leaves. As spring gathers force and the days grow longer and warmer, these ptarmigan are already shedding the camouflage of one season for the next. The melting snow reveals a few precious morsels of food. Birds find seeds to glean. The bays and inlets along Alaska's south coast are no longer frozen. Shorebirds arriving with the new season can stir up a few tidbits from the mud. Overhead, long skeins of brant geese head for the tundra further north. After a journey of perhaps 20 miles down from the mountains, the mother and her 2 cubs arrive at the coast. For the first time, they meet other foraging bears. Getting used to company can be an awkward business. A female protecting her cubs is likely to run off any interlopers. Alaska is home to more than half of North America's brown bears. Half of Alaska's bear population lives along the southern coast. As the bears compete for the same resource, they find out about keeping a safe distance from other bears, and also from porcupines. Bears are nothing if not tough. The quills in its foot will eventually work their way out. She's easily disturbed. Youngsters like this 3-year-old have the hardest time figuring where to fit in. Weaned and driven off by its mother last summer, it may still long for her company. The presence of any other family rouses its curiosity. But it's time to grow up. He doesn't quite know what to make of this young female arriving without cubs. Though bears lead mainly solitary lives, they need to communicate. They can't wag their tails or show their mood by subtly shifting their ears the way dogs do, so they use body postures. This 3-year-old cautiously determines that this newcomer may well be a playmate. But even harmless young bears seeking company may come a little too close for a mother protecting her cubs. The body language suddenly doesn't seem so subtle. She's not out to kill, just to drive off an interloper. These youngsters are learning all the time from their experiences, getting to know other bears, discovering the landscape and the feeding opportunities it might provide at different times of the year. Spring quickly spreads north, and with it, new waves of migrating shorebirds. Everything is on the move. Alaska is coming alive again. The vegetation is growing fast, and the sedge on the tidal flats is at the most nutritious stage of its growth. It's so abundant and widespread that these bears can feed without too much anxiety about other newcomers. They graze on 24 different plant species over the year, from roots to berries. They don't digest grasses and sedges very efficiently, but at least they're not losing weight anymore. The cubs will also want milk, and when she lets them, they seem almost to herd their mother like a cow. Eventually, she feels secure enough to lie down and nurse her cubs. The cubs suckle 4 or more times a day. They also learn by watching what their mother eats and following where she goes. It's a close relationship until the cubs are able to fend for themselves. Then she'll drive them off as fiercely as if they were strangers and be ready to breed again. For now, her cubs relax in the apparent calm of a siesta. The mother stays on the alert for other bears that might trespass. They are this family's only natural enemy, other than humans. It's almost summer now on the shores of Kamishak Bay, about 250 miles southwest of Anchorage. A black oyster catcher settles down on her eggs. The lupins are in full flower. Along with the hungry bears, bald eagles gather at this special place for a feast they know will shortly come to this coast and its rivers. By early June, one of the first runs of Alaskan salmon is poised to rush up the river. The sockeye salmon come by the thousands to their spawning grounds. For predators, it's a matter of watching and waiting. The salmon have already run the gauntlet of fishing nets and hungry sea lions. Now there's more trouble ahead. Newly separated from its mother, this young bear has to learn to fish for itself the hard way. There are so many choices, she doesn't know when to lock in on a single fish. Researchers call it fish fever. A mother with cubs must be a successful hunter. But even for her, it'll take power, speed, and above all, persistence. These two species are bound together by their own fierce drives. The salmons to spawn, the bears to lay on fat. For a female and her cubs, a sockeye represents 6 pounds of protein, a precious resource in the race to gain weight for winter. Nothing, not a scrap, goes to waste on these killing grounds. Bald eagles scavenge whatever fragments the bears leave behind. Though the bears drawn here by the salmon are gradually getting used to each other, they're still skittish. Another family fishing in the same stretch of river is enough to scare away this mother with cubs. In a less crowded area, the family feels secure enough to play. A cub tussling with its mother may be learning how to read body language. On the other hand, they may be just having fun, something bears are surprisingly good at. cubs sparring together may be preparing for the day, and they must know how to hold their own ground. The run of sockeye up this stream lasts only about 2 weeks. Then another salmon run begins on a different stream a few miles away. The bears know the routine. A big mature male like this one may come as far as 75 miles to take advantage of the feast. As the sockeye move upstream, they have to pass through narrow falls. The salmon bunch together in shallows here, waiting their turn. The bears move in. Once so edgy about intrusions on their space, the bears now find themselves closer together than ever before. A social order develops, and body language helps each bear keep its proper place. But if two bears chase the same fish, they can be ferocious competitors. The more skilled and experienced a bear is, the more fish it will catch. A hungry bear can gorge itself on 60 or 70 pounds of fish in an hour. As they become sated, they concentrate on the most nutritious parts: eyes, eggs, and brain. Other bears aren't so fussy, like this one, nursing a recent injury. These leftovers will speed his recovery and help him prepare for winter. There's so much to eat, you can almost see a bear swelling in size, laying on 100 pounds of fat in a few weeks. It's common for 20 bears at a time to gather around these falls, and many of them are large males. They're drawn here not only by the fish, but by the scent of females ready to mate. To a mother looking after her cubs, this can feel like a threatening situation. But the male is only interested in a female on her own, like this one. She comes into breeding condition in late spring. the male begins to attend her in a slow courting ritual which will induce ovulation. He'll start by following her scent trail. Gradually, she lets him get closer. But after all that effort on his part, she may still take advantage of the dense alder scrub to escape him. Then another male appears and takes his chance. The female may mate with several different males during her 2-week breeding season. After mating, the male has no further interest in family affairs. Remarkably, the female doesn't become pregnant until long afterwards, when she's ready to go into hibernation. Even then, she must be well fattened before her body will trigger development within her womb. Perhaps the bears mate early so they can devote all their energy later on to the more serious business of gathering food. As soon as one salmon run ends, the bears know where the next one begins, 1.5 miles away on the McNeil River. Here, it gets really crowded. They fish shoulder to shoulder, and the best spots go to the strongest bears, often the same bears year after year. Big dominant males are at the top of the hierarchy. It's an intimidating environment for any bear to enter, especially a female and her young cubs, all ravenously hungry. Her problem is that she can't fish and look after them at the same time. That can mean trouble if the cubs don't stay close. There are fish to be caught, make no mistake. And eventually, the mother's urgent need to catch fish takes her into rushing water where newborn cubs can't follow. The company can be rough, even for an adult, and cubs have no special status once they get separated from their mother. For some cubs, life is short and brutish. Of every 2 cubs born, 1 will die in the first 18 months. Male bears or unrelated females may kill them, though that's not common. Accidental falls and drownings also take a toll. Perhaps only one of these triplets will survive and grow old enough to breed. This mother adults must fend off other adults. The social order helps minimize fighting and maximize feeding in a prime fishing spot. But the bears still suffer horrible gashes and broken bones. They heal surprisingly well, even from grievous injuries. Alaskans call these large fish dog salmon because they're considered good enough only for feeding huskies. But they are the single most important food for these bears. They're the reason bears from the coast are often larger than bears from the interior. The bear flays the living salmon for its nutritious skin. Then it strips out her caviar, 3,000 eggs packed with nutrients, and licks them up. In a good year, there's plenty to eat, and bears aren't so protective about their catch. A less dominant bear may sidle in cautiously to steal a bite and get away with it. The main surge of spawning fish on the McNeil River lasts only 4 weeks into mid-August. Maybe this year there'll be enough for every bear. If not, the youngest suffer most. As the glut of salmon dwindles, the bears will move away. They need to lay on even more fat, so they head inland to search for other foods. The changing autumn colors are a reminder that their long fast will soon begin. An adult bear will need 400,000 calories in storage to get through the winter. There isn't much time left, but autumn will bring a feast of roots and berries. Bearberries, cranberries, cloudberries, and blueberries. Saltberries may not sound appetizing to us, but they also contain sugars that a bear can change quickly into fat. The voracious carnivore once again becomes a knowledge. Females and their cubs remain together, but with food spread out across the landscape, bears resume a solitary existence. They say that when a leaf falls in autumn, the deer sees it, the owl hears it, and the bear smells it. Bears can whiff a human from a mile or more away. They also have a keen nose and a quick eye for a wandering ground squirrel. After a diet of sedge and grasses in spring, the glut of salmon in summer, and the surfeit of berries, what better than a fat ground squirrel for an autumn treat? Bears are powerfully built with strong claws for digging. Rooting out a ground squirrel is like warm-up exercise for digging a den. The mother doesn't share the prize with her cubs, but they'll get some of it later as she produces milk. Alaska has magnificent open space to offer, and the bears need it. A bear may wander 40 miles in any direction in search of food. They're vulnerable even here to human developments and to intrusions by bush planes and off-road vehicles. The bears can't afford to be distracted. With winter closing in, they're still... If a bear has learned the ways of the country well and taken every opportunity it offers, she may end the season like this, in prime condition. Her coat is thick, her claws undamaged, she's fat and oddly playful. In this short year, she may have mated for the first time, and the fertilized egg may just now have implanted itself in her womb. But winter creeps closer every day. In the mountains, this family has given up feeding. The mother leads the way back to a suitable den site to protect them through the winter. At the close of the season, the ideal bear is big and waddling fat. This one may weigh about 1,500 pounds. Despite appearances, he's still able to sprint 25 miles an hour, or just to ramble along, eating whatever food comes his way. The cold doesn't bother him. He's insulated by 6 inches of fat and fur. It may take a drastic change in the weather, a snowstorm that covers the last of the autumn berries, to send this male off in search of a den. In the deepening Alaskan chill, the long banquet has come to an end. It's the midpoint between the season of gluttony and the season of starvation. He has proven himself once again a master of one of the world's last great wildernesses. Now it's time to rest and to dream beneath the snow about next year.
In a fit of desperation in 1942, when the rest of the world was off at war, the armies got together on what they had to do, even though it was never done before. They pushed a strip of gravel through the northern wilderness, 1,500 miles of mud and dust and snow. 8 months after they started, it was finished more or less, but the changes it brought on, they couldn't know. More than just a highway, it symbolizes dreams. For the people who have used it, it is more than what it seems. Through the mountains, bogs, and forests, over rivers, creeks, and streams, the Alaska Highway goes on. People have used it, first a trickle, then a flood, in a motley vehicular parade. Trucks and cars of all descriptions driving through the dust and mud. The overland connection, it was made. It's taken headlights by the hundreds and windshields by the score, as migrants left their homes and ventured forth. Hitchhikers, workers, families, truck drivers, tramps, and more reach with their own reasons for heading north. More than just a highway, it symbolizes dreams. For the people who have used it, it is more than what it seems. Through the mountains, bogs, and forests, over rivers, creeks, and streams, the Alaska Highway goes on. mostly pavement and they've straightened out the bends. Some say the adventure's long gone past, that now it's showing tendencies of much more modern trends. That's the thing about frontiers, they never last. But it's still a long, long ways when you start from Dawson Creek, and it's still the same huge country all the way. It's still the way to travel if it's the Northland that you seek, where so many who come to visit have to stay. More than just a highway, it symbolizes dreams. For the people who have used it, it is more than what it seems. Through the mountains, bogs, and forests, over rivers, creeks, and streams, the Alaska Highway goes on. More than just a highway, it symbolizes dreams. For the people who have used it, it is more than what it seems. Through the mountains, bogs, and forests, over rivers, creeks, and streams, the Alaska Highway goes on.